Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How you doing today? Hope you're having a great day. You had a great long weekend there, and today we're going to talk about just two things, right? If you're really close to retirement, or you're in retirement, or you just want to know how it all works before you get to retirement, there's really only two words that you need to know, and it's not mutual fund, it's not bonds, it's not ETFs, it's not Vanguard, it's speed and volatility. And I hope that I'm able to sort of explain how this works along the way. See, I get a little bit of grief every now and then from people that say, you say speed and volatility all the time, but you know, you don't know what you're talking about, or this guy must not know what he's really doing. He says speed and volatility. Well, to be truthful, if the title of this video was that we use a portfolio weighted beta against a relative index to achieve a certain standard deviation of returns, at least within a range of over a 30-year look back of volatility or a 1-year look back of volatility, something like that, you wouldn't have clicked on it, right? It's not all that interesting. See, truthfully, I am not trying to be here to show you what I know. I'm trying to be here to teach you what you should know. It's called goodwill marketing. You guys get it by now. I teach you a little bit of something, and whenever you need help, or if you need help, well then, hey, you maybe check us out, or worst case, you hit the thumbs up button or something like that. But I don't like to be that guy that go, I don't even want to go on TV and just talk to people that, nobody really understands what they're saying anyways. I try to make everything really simple. So, speed and volatility. I'm going to show you a couple charts here in a second, but the easiest way I can explain it, my most favorite way to explain it when we do local classes here and stuff is to say, imagine me on the top of a hill standing on a skateboard. Now imagine Tony Hawk standing next to me. Most famous skateboarder ever. He's really good, right? So imagine he's standing next to me. Tony Hawk says go, and we both start going down the hill. Now, along the way, we're picking up speed, picking up speed, and Mr. Tony Hawk, he's just as cool as can be, man. He's just going down the hill, maybe even texting on his phone or something. He's not scared. He's totally comfortable. So he's not very volatile in his movements. He's just comfortable. Me, on the other hand, as I'm going down the hill, you ever seen those videos where the skateboard gets a little wobbly and then you look a little closer because you know the dude's about to eat it, and you're staring at him and he gets a little more wobbly, right? At some point, I'm on a skateboard, I'm shaking around like crazy. I make the decision, I'm going to jump off and try to outrun this thing. That never works. You've seen all the videos. The bottom line is, Tony Hawk makes it to the bottom of the hill. I make it to the bottom of the hill. However, he makes it down in one piece. I'm a sloppy mess, right? That's volatility. I got to the same point, but I was more volatile. Same result achieved, get to the finish line, we did it, but it was volatility. Well, you can also see that on a chart. And if you're working with a financial advisor, or you have a company that you're working with, or the platform you're working with, you better be able to determine that speed and volatility. Speed is the growth, volatility is the emotion. That's the end of that's all there is to say about that. Let's jump over to the charts here and take a look. I want to show you on the screen here. This is the S&P 500, and hey, basically we're in an uptrend. If you look back through the entire history of the S&P 500, it's in an uptrend. It never breaks an uptrend. It always trends higher. However, there are times that are very scary and very sloppy, and you want to determine right now, before you retire or while you're sitting there in retirement, how much are you willing to participate there? See, you have a different sort of program going on. You need to take money out as you're retired or nearing retirement. You can't afford that volatility. Remember back here, October, November, December, we fell 20+%. You all right with that? You know the recession, if we go back here, we'll just show the recession. If we zoom out, we've got to go back past that actually. We're going to have to go to 2000. Let's go to 2007 just so it shows. You know this recession right here, 35%? But yet just a couple months ago, we fell 20% and almost nobody noticed, right? How does that make you feel? How much do you want to participate in the eventual pullback of the markets? We're not going to go higher forever. We're going to have a few sloppy years. And if you're in retirement, that's a big deal there. So here's a good example. We rank all of our portfolios by speed. It's not perfect. We're going to change the site here in a little bit. But basically, we have really aggressive funds all the way down to really conservative funds. And so if you're in retirement, you might be able to have some of those aggressive funds, or wherever you're at. If you have a 401k and you see there's aggressive options and conservative, yeah, there's no reason you can't have some portion of the aggressive. But at the end of the day, you need to know how fast you're moving. So if I compare, I'm going to go back here to the 5-year so we can zoom in, make this look nice and clean. If we look at our, what we call our mild aggressive growth portfolio, generally it lags behind the market. Supposed to. It's in the title. It says mild aggressive. It's not aggressive. It's mild aggressive. Now, right now, it's doing all right. It's actually hanging in there, doing a little bit better. But the general goal of this is to drag behind the market and move about 80% the speed of the market. So if any customer says, I have to have this fund, I want this one fund, that's all I want, I can tell them you're going to move 80% of the speed of the market. That's the goal anyways, and I will make adjustments to that fund to make sure you move at 80% on the way up and on the way down, right? If you said, oh, I don't like that, what do you got that's in that 60% range, right? Something like that. Well, that's what we call our midterm conservative portfolio. And as you can see, I'll actually take the mild aggressive off for just a second, just so you can see. See how this medium-term conservative portfolio lags behind the market. What I really want you to see is the volatility. See how it's a more smoother line in general? If you were to look at October, November, December 20+% drop here, you only have 9% from high to low. So to be fair, if you were to zoom in on a year chart or something like that, it looks like it's beating the market. This is a common misconception. I hate how mutual funds do this, but you would actually look at this if you were looking at a chart of a mutual fund and you would think that this portfolio beats the market. That's not the case. The reason why those charts look like that, sorry for the side note, is because when we fell October, November, December, it fell less. So these slower moving portfolios always look a little bit better after a big drop because they didn't fall as much, not because they perform better. So that's why I'm zooming out here so you guys can see. I'm not trying to like hide anything. I want you guys to be able to see that too. So somebody says, I'm in retirement. I'm close to retirement, very close. I want to move, 60% of the market. I can afford if the markets fall or something a little bit, but I don't want to, have this be the end of the world because I need to pull money out, right? Another thing you want to notice about these slower moving funds, whether they're ours or anything else, is they make it back to highs faster, right? So let's zoom in here just a little bit. Look what happens here when the markets fell from October to January. They did not get back to highs until, it was about May, right? May 2nd, April 30th, let's call it, right? When conservative portfolios fall, they didn't fall as much. When did it make it back to highs? Faster. That's important, right? That's very important because you may be drawing money out of your account in retirement. You got $1 million, you're trying to live off some amount per year. You got 500,000, you're trying to stretch dollars here. You need to recover faster, so it's really kind of important that you pay attention to the conservative funds, right? But let's say you came to me and you said, oh no, man, I'm really scared of this market. I see what's going on. I think the markets are going to fall. It's going to be a rough time period here. We go to our low volatility fund. This is ranked near the bottom of our funds there. And as you can see, it's slower. It's also less volatile overall. So we've slowed the speed down, right? Here's all the portfolio, or at least these four on the charts here. You could see that as you work your way towards less performance, you're also getting less speed as well, right? Now we have like our small cap fund, our large cap funds, they beat the market in the long run, but they're more volatile. You might not want to look at something like that, maybe a small portion or things like that. But speed and volatility have to be your number one concern. Any customer that calls and says, hey, I'm saving for a house, I'm in the low volatility fund, and I've got 2 years until I need to buy the house, what kind of exposure am I in here? What does this look like for me? I'm actually able to say you're participating at about 40% of the speed of the market. And once a month when I do those portfolio updates, I actually show that. And I'm going to do one this Thursday to actually show we adjusted to keep the speed and volatility the same. Things got a little wild on one of the funds, and let's say we changed it, right? That's the goal. That's what you want to look at going through life here, because speed is growth and volatility is emotion. We got to get rid of the emotion. When you see on TV, the markets fell like 2%, oh my gosh, what a crazy day. You know you're in for 40% of that or 60% of that. You don't even have to look at your portfolio. Your friends are panicking, everybody's doing their thing. You can look at that and go, I know how fast I'm moving. I also know the volatility of my portfolio, and therefore I can handle it. I'm good, right? Imagine that. Imagine if you could look at that. So what I want you to do, if you have a 401k or something, I want you to go do some homework. You got to look at that, right? I do this for every one of my customers. They want me to look at their 401k. I will actually dial in the speed and volatility for that as well. Even if you want to swing for the fences, that's fine. Today we're focused on the retiree, but I just want to kind of show that. And I get it. I showed our portfolios, we could have shown Netflix or something, but hey, like I said in the beginning, marketing. All right. Have a great rest of your day. I hope that helps you in some way. At least start to think about how aggressive you're being in your portfolios, and does it match what goal you have. We'll be back later today, 5 o'clock, to do the closing beat. It's live on our YouTube channel. It's a stock market update show. We go through all the markets for the day, what happened, good, the bad, and the ugly, and we'll dive in there. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.